Hello and welcome back to the Comedians OutLuke podcast. This is the podcast where I, Luke Anthony, speak to fellow comedians about their life in the comedy world. This week I'm joined by Kitty Harvey. Kitty trained as an actor before becoming a burlesque performer, and in 2018 she took the leap into stand-up comedy. We recorded this episode just before we performed at my night at the Bridge Comedy Club. So this is my conversation with Kitty. I really hope you enjoy. Hello, Kitty.
Hello.
So, what did you do before comedy and what led you to comedy?
So I trained to be an actress, and then I was trying to look for extra things to do like on my CV. So I started taking burlesque classes, and then I was part of a troupe, and then I started taking other burlesque classes, and then I decided that I liked it more than acting. But I always kind of ended up doing the comedy burlesque stuff. So it was like comedy routines, like dick jokes, boob jokes, etc. And I just kind of, truthfully, I kind of wanted to do it since I was a kid, but I just never really kind of had the confidence to do it. And it was like the comedy burlesque that kind of made me go, you can do this, because people are laughing at you when you're like naked. So was that did that make you feel better about doing it? If it's almost like if you do the comedy thing, it's not as bad as doing like burlesque itself, or was it that? Or well, I always thought like because I'd done like comedy burlesque, like kind of dying on stage was not going to be as bad, because when you die on stage as a comedy burlesque performer, you're nearly naked and no one's laughing at your jokes. But having recently like died on stage for the first time, it's just as bad. As
a comedian?
Yes, okay. It is just as bad.
Yeah. So you thought that comedy burlesque wouldn't be as bad as dying on stage as just a burlesque dancing?
Yeah.
Okay, so you thought that if you did comedy burlesque, if the comedy didn't work, then it's okay because they're looking at your body, or...
No, not even. So comedy burlesque is kind of slightly different to classic burlesque. Classic burlesque is what you're thinking of, like Detour all the people at the Swarovskis, showgirls. Whereas like comedy is normally like character-based.
Okay.
So it's just people kind of being a bit silly and just kind of making jokes, but at the same time stripping.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you're making jokes, everyone's attention's on the jokes, and then they look up and there's nothing on.
Well, you kind of make a joke of taking your clothes off.
Right, okay, so there's irony around that.
Yeah, so like there was one routine where I like had spiders all kind of inside my underwear, and I was like taking them off, like, oh my god, the spider's in here, like I gotta take some more clothes off.
That basically sums up my like 15-year-old life, where I did any excuse at a house party to take your clothes off and try and get some action was just like, oh no, yeah, I need to stretch. Oh, I put my arm around someone. It's just the same thing really, except not.
Except spiders are involved.
Except spiders. Did you actually have like fake spiders?
I had like
on
plastic spiders like inside like stockings and stuff, and I'd like flick them off, and like all these spiders and glitter would just go like everywhere. Yeah. That was a Sally Stitches from A Nightmare Before Christmas routine. So I used to do like characters and stuff.
So when did you first start doing burlesque then?
So like back when I was like 25, I was part of a troupe called the Burlesque Babes, which is the City Academy, which is a kind of acting, dancing, kind of, I guess, like night school thing.
Okay.
In London, it's based at Erdang Academy, is where I used to do it. And yeah, I started doing it back then, and then I kind of did the cheek of it as well, which is like another burlesque school. There's like quite a few like burlesque like courses that you can take in London. And so I started doing that one, and that was more involved in like stripping, whereas like the City Academy one was more kind of like jazz dancey stuff.
Okay.
And then
a bit more classy, smoky. Jazz.
Well, it was like musical theatre, kind of jazzy stuff. And then I was like, I just fancy taking my clothes off. So I did the stripping one instead.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
There is nothing wrong with taking your clothes off.
I love taking my clothes off, especially when I'm about to have a bath.
So I did it when I was 25, and then I took like a couple of years break, and I started getting back into it again when I was like 28. Okay. And now I'm 34.
Okay. And so what did your parents think to you doing this?
So my mum thought it was tacky.
Okay.
My dad, by the way, should preface this, my dad is gay and has a husband, okay?
Okay.
So it's not creepy that he thought it was amazing. So, like, he just used to come to my shows and stuff and, like, be like, whoa, you're a good girl. And I was, yeah, that was really off-putting when he used to come. Nice. It was really nice, but it was like, I could hear my dad, like, whooping, and I'm just like, oh, taking my clothes off, and my dad is cheering for me.
If you're still doing the comedy burlesque, that would have been easy material.
Oh, no, that's what I was doing.
Oh, you were?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I don't even invite my parents to my comedy nights, let alone me taking my clothes off. Yeah.
I mean, I think I do want my dad to come, but maybe not my mum, because she doesn't have she has a very different sense of humour to me. Let's put it that way. She's like, oh, Mr. Bean is the height of comedy, and I'm like, oh, my comedy's a little bit ruder than that.
So you were an actor originally, and you turned to burlesque because it was easy work.
It's because it was more kind of like you get to direct yourself, whereas with acting you have a play, you have a script, you have to do what the director says. With burlesque, you can take direction yourself. You're the one that you kind of choreograph the whole entire routine. You make the story, because normally it's like a 5-minute story, or 5 minutes or slightly longer story. So you make the story, you choreograph it yourself, you cut the track together yourself. It's all you doing it, so you don't have to take direction from anyone unless you want to, which is sometimes useful to do.
Yeah.
But it's just it's more about you have more control.
Okay.
Like in comedy, where you don't have to take direction unless you want to.
So I mean, I don't have a great deal of experience going to attending burlesque or performing it at all or anything like that. Yep. I'm sure I know I'm a dashing man, and I'd be great on stage.
Great at burlesque. I think you would be very popular.
But I've seen films, and they're not very good
burlesque.
More than just that, but that's one of them, which is probably not a very good.
I mean, I've never seen it, but it's kind of it's basically
very cliche.
It's a bad word in the burlesque community. People are like, "Oh, that movie's awful," kind of thing, because it's not very kind of representative of it.
Yeah, I just wondered how much control promoters or club owners have over the program. Do they like to oversee everything, to check that the material that's going on stage is?
So it's kind of like with comedy, where you will send off your set, you'll video it and you'll send it off to the promoters and the producers and stuff. Yeah. It's kind of like that. So you get someone to film your act and you send it to them. If they want to ask you to change something, by all means they can ask you. It doesn't mean you're going to do it. Okay. Because it's that's why I said I liked it, because it's your thing that you do.
Yeah.
If to be honest with you, a lot of the promoters and the producers and the people that make these burlesque shows are women. Okay. Surprisingly enough. Okay. It's a kind of very female-led kind of industry. So they're not going to be asking you to do sleazy stuff or anything. It might just be oh, my night has this theme, can you change your act slightly to include this theme in it, kind of thing.
There's a very big difference between a classy burlesque night than I don't know, say something that's slightly more sleazy, like a strip club or something. So people have this misconception that burlesque is a glorified version of another, which is completely untrue.
I mean, I'm not gonna diss strippers just because they are very skilled at what they do.
Yeah.
I was telling you before, I used to live with a stripper, and literally she was an amazing pole dancer. There's definite skill in it, and there's definite people skills as well. You have to.
Yeah.
If you're not good with people, and you're not good at dancing, and you're not good at kind of drawing people into your act, per se, then you're not going to be a successful stripper. So it's it's not I think it's the guys that make it sleazy. It's not
the clientele you get.
Yeah, it's not the kind of act itself that is sleazy. It's more the reaction to it.
So, what was the first thought you had to go into comedy? I mean, you did comedy burlesque, and then what was the transition into just stand-up comedy?
Well, I'd been wanting to do it for a while, and I was getting so basically, I won the British Crown at the World Burlesque Games, and when you win a big thing like that, there's kind of pressure to take it further. Yeah. And I kind of did it at a point where I was happy with the act that I'd got that won the prize, and I was kind of in the process of thinking I actually want to try comedy, because it kind of doing the burlesque and succeeding in it, especially the comedy burlesque, had kind of given me the confidence to go to kind of be on stage, and you have to have stage presence as a burlesque performer, or people,
of course,
you know, you're just going to be stripping to silence, which is so awkward. I've done it before. I did it for an art class, this
well, just do 20 years of marriage and you get an idea of what that's like.
Oh gosh, yeah, I don't even have a boyfriend, so I can't imagine what that is like. It was for what's it called, life modeling. So I did this life modeling class, and they were like, oh, we want you to do a routine, strip down, and we'll draw you. And I was like, okay, did the routine. The room is silent. It's so awkward. I was just like, oh my god.
I can top that. There's something more awkward than that. When I was 18, I was short on money, so I did some life modelling for a university. and and it was naked
Was
as well.
fully nude?
It was fully nude.
I've never been fully nude.
Yeah. You've never been fully
No.
nude? No, it was fully nude, and about 10 minutes in, I let rip the worst
I
fart
thought you
ever.
were going to say you like got a boner or something.
No. I just think it's something really awful. If I need to keep
Like
it
farting
under.
in front of a room full of people that are silently
Yeah.
drawing you.
Yeah.
Did anyone draw like little?
Well, you can see on their drawings, you can see like obviously normal size, and then it just reduced in size as I farted. That's
away.
more. That's yeah. That's
They didn't draw like a little fart cloud, did they? Coming out your bum.
I don't know, but yeah, that was slightly embarrassing. But then I just the comedian in me just turned around and said, "Oh, excuse me, I just farted." So suddenly it was on my.
Was it really loud?
It was really loud.
Oh god.
I was like, I don't know if you heard this, but I did just fart. So
This is why I could
please
never do
compose
yoga.
yourselves.
I would never be able to do yoga because apparently, like.
Oh, I've done that before as well.
You
Yeah.
farted in yoga as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yes. Oh god.
You're just a gassy boy.
I see yeah, it's all those pasties that
Oh,
comedians,
dear.
a staple food of comedians.
Chameleons?
Comedians.
I was going to say, we have a chameleon. It doesn't eat pasties.
You have a chameleon?
Yeah, my housemates have a chameleon.
Oh, nice,
Yeah,
nice.
He eats bugs and he's covered in salmonella apparently, so I don't touch him anymore.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
All chameleons are. It's like on their skin.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd want that in your house.
I know, right?
Don't lick a chameleon.
Yeah.
Don't lick a comedian either because that's frowned upon
I mean,
too.
I don't mind if you're a hot boy, but
Boy.
man, over the age of 27.
Yeah, I just want the listeners to know that my comedy is a lot more classy than just fart jokes. However,
Fart and licking jokes.
Fart and licking jokes. Please do come and see me in my comedy club because I'm way better than farting. But if I do fart on stage, I will make a bloody good joke about it. I can assure
There's
you.
nothing wrong with fart jokes. I don't have any fart jokes. Oh no, my opening joke is a fart joke.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You're just
Diane.
lying on the podcast. Jesus. Where were we? I don't remember. We were talking about how you managed to get into comedy. I don't know how we got to
Yes.
farting. And you did a bit of life drawing. You didn't do some life drawing. You did some life modelling.
Yes.
And then carry on from there.
Sorry, I really go off on tangents when I.
No, that's fine.
when I
That's what
speak.
conversation is. Yeah.
Where was I? Oh,
Imagine
it
we're in a
just-
pub. People are listening into the conversation.
Do you know what though? Okay, so the first ever job I said I wanted to do was a stand-up comedian when I was 4, right?
I see.
Because there were like 3 things I used to watch on TV. This is the 80s, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
FYI, you didn't have all these fancy channels with like Sky and all this Netflix.
Just your 3
ads.
channels.
Literally, yeah. So I used to watch Flying Doctors. I used to watch Mary Poppins on repeat
Yeah.
because I love that shit. And Mork and Mindy.
Yeah.
I loved Robin Williams, like literally, I love him, and that was like I wanted to be a stand-up comedian because of that. And I don't think I really knew exactly what it was, so I was like, I want to be a stand-up comedian and a nurse because my dad was a nurse. And then I found out about the blood, and I was like, ugh, no. So I was like, oh, I want to be a stand-up comedian, and then somehow it turned into actress. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
and then
think
from
it's-
that, you've got a nurse's outfit.
I don't
and
actually have a nurse's outfit.
a comedy. Let's do burlesque. Do people want to dress up as nurses in burlesque?
Yes,
Surely.
they do.
Yeah.
I mean, the most kind of cliche thing I did was a sailor, but it was like a sailor mermaid that was like dancing to like the Lonely Island.
All right.
I'm on a boat.
Yeah. But only the top half of you can dance.
No,
And then
no.
the
So
flipper.
I was like a sailor that turned into a mermaid and was like, oh my gosh, I'm a mermaid. How's this happened? I should take my clothes off.
Okay. You just find reasons to take. You have so many excuses to take your clothes off.
It's a Tuesday. Take your clothes off.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Sorry, I feel like I just lowered the tone.
No, it's fine. I lowered it with farting. I once did fart on a bus as well, and there was this big, huge guy near me. It was very sweaty, and
Blame it
he
on
got the
him?
blame. No, I didn't blame it on him. He just got
Everyone just
naturally
looked at him.
blamed. Yeah, and then most people left. And then he also left in a fluster because he was a bit embarrassed, obviously. And then I just turned round to the people that were remaining on the bus, the
Did you say
troopers.
it was me?
I just turned around, that was me. And there were just guys left, and they were just like nice. And that was it, because they were far back enough that they didn't smell it. But
I swear, people always fart on the tube near me, and it really upsets me.
it really upsets you. I hate the tube.
I hate the tube as well. This is why. So I got a scooter, and I literally just scoot everywhere because
Yeah.
I don't like the smell of farts and BO.
No, it's not nice. No.
I was on the bus the other day. I told my breath for half an hour because the man had BO that decided to...
Half an hour.
Half an hour.
And you're still alive?
Yeah.
How did you breathe? Did you have to
I
breathe?
kept on looking because he was like next to me and I was by the window and I kept like looking out the window and being like, but like trying not to make it obvious because I didn't want to make him feel bad that he had BO.
I don't know. I find that really funny. Awkward situations crack me up.
Yeah,
I'd rather be the person watching you turn away and grimace at the person who's sitting next to you smells. I certainly wouldn't want to be the guy that smells, because if there's nothing worse than knowing you smell.
Yeah, but like you know when you can tell someone's a little bit self-conscious. Like he was a little bit self-conscious.
Maybe he starts doing that and stuff.
No, he just kind of looked really like shuffly and uncomfortable, and I was like, oh, I feel bad, but you stink so bad, it's making me want to throw up.
It's bad.
Yeah, he smelled like mushrooms and onions.
Mushrooms and onions. That could have just been his healthy diet. And BO.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure BO just does pretty much smell like mushrooms and onions anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Talking about moving from burlesque comedy to comedy, I'm quite interested because you see a lot of musical comedians, like people like Bill Bailey. I spoke to Paul Richards last week, who's a fantastic musical comedian, and he plays the drums, and he's awesome. And he says that it's like a safety net. He's incredible at the drums, so if the comedy stuff goes wrong, then he can just do this.
Isn't it right? Like, I always feel like it's like.
So it's like a crux. It's like a crutch. I think the word is.
Because if you watch quite a lot of like, this is not me slagging them off, but if you watch a lot of musical comedians, they will have like a punchline every like 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than like being like, you know, one-liners, they're like building it up, punchline. And then, but they're at the same time they're playing the music, so it's just like people are just calmly kind of like, oh, I can listen to this. Whereas like if you're taking too long to do a punchline and you're not like, you know, giving them something else, like the audience something else, people get bored. And
you need to have something else. You need to have something about the way you stand, the way you talk, where you hold your mic. You need to have something about for people to look at while you're, you know, working through your brain to get to a punchline. But I just wonder if like the comedy burlesque thing, did you start finding that the burlesque was like a protective thing over the comedy? Did you find that?
Well, the thing is, when I started doing burlesque, I always found it just really awkward to do the classic stuff because I'd always try and turn it into a joke.
Yeah.
So like I couldn't be sexy. I don't really think I'm like that sexy. So like if you look at like, so my profile picture on Twitter and Instagram is a picture of me taking the piss out of Sandro Botticelli's Birth of Venus. Which is a sexy picture. It's a nice naked lady with like, you know, coming out of a shell. I'm doing it with pizza in front of my veg. So it's just like, you know, I can't do my veg.
It's just very, very posh for JJ.
No, veg, you know, like Burk.
Okay. No, I don't know. Must be a London thing.
No, it's from this really shit movie that's got Paul Rudd in. I can't remember what it's called, but like he does this whole entire speech in the mirror about like my dick, putting my dick inside your veg. No, okay.
That's fine.
I promise you, it's like look it up on YouTube. It's like it's funny.
You can't die on stage here because it's a podcast. I can cut that bit out. It's fine.
Okay.
I won't cut it out though.
Great. You know, I think a lot of people will know if they're listening. They will know. What
yeah, sure.
It's a popular thing. I think I can't remember what the movie's called.
So I remember when we met, we were speaking about, let's say that, your set. You were speaking about how you had like 2,000 followers of people that were from the burlesque days.
Yeah, of 1,000. 1,000.
That's, okay. So you had
Don't make me sound better than I am.
I do my best. And you said and then you moved over to comedy. How did you manage to bring those fans over to your comedy, or did you?
I told you how I did it. Okay, so
on stage, but the listeners haven't heard that.
Okay, so I had like nearly 1,000 followers. Well, I have nearly 1,000 followers on Instagram.
Or 2,000, as far as I'm concerned.
I wish. No, it fluctuates between like 967 to like 964, like depending on like, because you know when people like follow you to follow back, and I'm like, nah.
Then they unfollow you.
Yeah, because you don't.
I'm not that obsessed by numbers, so I don't.
Well, yeah, I'm not like too obsessed, but basically I just kind of changed my Instagram description from burlesque to comedy, and no one's noticed.
Yeah, but Twitter went from like this social thing to actually just like a place for you to vent. So I very rarely read other people's tweets. I sort of just send out a tweet to like, I don't know, a dark void of people that may listen to it, but probably won't.
I looked for you on Twitter today because I was trying to tag you in something.
Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Luke A. Comedian.
Okay, I was looking for the comedy club.
So yeah, I just think Twitter's like, it's like a therapy session without having a therapist there.
I did the same thing on Twitter, by the way.
What's that?
I just changed it from Burlesque to comedy.
Oh, so that's on Twitter
And Instagram. And Facebook.
I didn't have Instagram yet.
You need to get it.
No, every time I set one up, it asks me to like upload a photograph, and then the trouble is that when I want to put like links to like the podcast, it doesn't have them as hyperlinks, which means that.
Yeah, no, it just has them as like
exactly
just writing.
Exactly. So then I cut. No one's going to follow those links. So
I think you can do it in stories.
You can do it in stories.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, there's so much faff. A lot of faff. I wish you know what, social media is great, right? Because it's like an open forum for everyone to have an opinion and talk about everything they want to talk about and get offended, shout at each other, troll each other, all that sort of stuff. But I really wish, and I think most comics wish, that they wouldn't have to use social media to promote nights, to promote themselves.
I enjoy it.
You enjoy it?
Yes, because I always see like really dumb things. Like, okay, so like just like, you know, that I can post. So the other day I was on my way to Sainsbury's to get something down the bottom of my road, and there's this really weird like knick-knack shop. So I live like in this place that's like next to this really posh village, and like it's the knick-knack shop is next to Sainsbury's, and in the window they had a mannequin in a bright pink slanket, a blanket with sleeves.
Yeah.
Holding a like neon yellow leash that was attached to a lamp in the shape of a monkey. And I was just like, what the fuck is happening here?
And so you had to take a picture and send it. Right. So that would, for me, that would create 10 minutes of material in a show. So I'd then go home or write quite a quick note in my notes on my phone. Right, having a phone's great to do such things like that. And then I'll go home and write a 10-minute routine based around that, or a sketch or something that centers around that. I feel like I'm wasting material by putting it on social media.
Well, I was just like, what are they selling? Like slankets and monkey bondage?
Yeah, but then as a creator, I would want to take that and create.
You can do two. You can do both.
Surely the best bit of that is the inspiration. Like when you see that, oh, this is amazing, right? You post it, the moment's over for you, right? So it's gone. Whereas if I write a quick note to then come back and then create a character surrounding that, the person that does it is a bit of an eccentric, and she's got like a perm and she's got a very red face, and then you build up a character behind it, and she's like the Susan Boyle who's got like a little weird shop.
You can do both though, because if you think about it, a lot of people that are going to come to your comedy are not going to look at your Twitter.
That's true.
So the joke's not lost, because even if they have seen it, they'll be like, oh, I know this from your Twitter. So you're just connecting a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I spam the shit out of this, and I use social media to promote everything I do because it's a necessary evil. I just wish that flyers worked like they used to and business cards worked like they used to. It's a lot easier to spark up a car. I met this girl once, right? And this is how bad it's got. And I know everyone does material about Tinder and stuff, and I haven't done this material yet. But I was there in a pub, and this girl came and approached me and started talking to me. And she was like, I was probably about 10 minutes into the conversation, and she was like, are you on Tinder? And I was like, yeah. And then she was like, you could swipe right and swipe right on Tinder, and we could talk on Tinder. And I was like, well, so what you're saying is, so you want to find out if I'm single, and the only way you could find out whether I'm single or I want something casual is by asking me if I'm on Tinder. We've just been speaking for 10 minutes. Why don't we just have like a normal conversation?
But why didn't she just add you on Facebook and then?
Well, exactly, yeah. And she was adamant that I should find her on Tinder.
You were searching through all the women in Cambridge on Tinder until you found her. That's insane.
Exactly, and her reason was that she couldn't remember what her Instagram was, but she said, if you find me on Tinder, I've got Instagram's linked to Tinder.
That's really stupid. Does she not have her phone on her?
I don't know. At that point, I sort of, yep. I was like, I'm going to swipe left now. Yeah. I swiped her face left.
I have Tinder. I have never swiped right.
You've never swiped right?
I'm too fussy.
Really?
I have my rules.
Really? What are your rules?
Taller than 6 foot, dark hair, tattoos. Those 3 are musts.
Right, there you go. That's pretty much.
I mean, those 3 are usually attached to a giant asshole guy, but take my chances.
Yeah. Nice. So you've never swiped right?
No, I get too. I have like anxiety, so I get like really like nervous talking to people. So I'm like, if I kind of think a guy is hot on Tinder, I'll just like keep on it for like, a couple of weeks or something, and I'll be like, oh, I quite like it. Oh, I'm not sure. Oh, no, left. Eventually, like after 2 or 3 weeks.
That sounds awful. Any of the listeners that were hoping for Kitty to be single or interested in you, you now know that
there are rules, and I am single.
And she is single, but she's very, very
but
fussy.
If you don't have a face like a model and you're taller than 6 foot with dark hair,
then just keep looking.
Keep on swiping. Oh, this is when I get trolls telling me how ugly I am. Oh gosh.
You get trolls telling you how, really?
No, but like, okay, so if you're a girl on social media and you like even like make jokes like that, guys are just like, oh, you're ugly anyway, and it's just like, oh, can you just fuck off?
There is a sleaze. There is like, the trouble is there's like 4 women to 1 man on Tinder. I was listening to something on the radio about how like most women, the average woman's got like 500 like 500 swipes right or something, and then they list it there and said, you have 500 plus likes and everything, to try and lure them into. The
thing is, I know a lot of my guy friends that do go on Tinder, which I think is kind of redundant now. I don't think anyone really does Tinder.
No, I think Bumble's a new one, isn't it?
No, Hinge.
But like, I've been in a relationship for a little while, so
they swipe right, swipe right, swipe right, swipe right, swipe right. Like, they don't care. They'll just swipe right because they think like any chance.
Oh yeah, I was guilty of that. I was like, well, it's a numbers game, isn't it? It's eventually someone will like what I look like. Eventually.
I'm too fussy. I have to see a guy in real life to know if I like him or not. It's really bad.
Oh man, so just don't try and find Kitty on Tinder. There's no chance.
You can find me on Tinder, but I'll be swiping left.
Don't do what my weird stalker girl did and try to get me to follow on Tinder. Swipe right. I can't remember.
Find me on Tinder. Oh Jesus, who does that? That's insane.
Her.
Well, at least you're in a relationship now, yeah?
Relationship. I've been living with her. It's been going well.
Exactly. You're all good. You're set.
I'm settled.
Like, sitting there on my evenings off with my period dramas in my like Harry Potter slanket, like, oh gosh.
I don't have to shut the toilet when I go. I don't have to shut the toilet door now when I go to the toilet. I don't have to do any of that.
Romance, isn't it?
I don't have to do any of that. Great.
My last boyfriend, actually, on the first ever time I went around his house, thought it would be really funny because I went in for a shower and I was like peeing. He thought it would be really funny to open the door on me. And I was just like sitting there like mid-pee, like, what are you doing?
Did you tell him to get out?
Yes, I was like, get out. And he was like, oh, I was just trying to trick you in the shower. And I was like, well, I'm clearly peeing.
The trouble is with that is that in a relationship, especially when you live with each other, the time that you get having a dookie or having a pee.
Is that what we're calling a poop?
Is, I'm just trying to be polite, is me time, right? It's like, this is great time just to like, reflect on my life, sit there.
How long does it take you to
Well, I've had constipación for about 2 years,
oh, dear.
As far as she's concerned.
Oh, okay.
But it's just sitting there, oh, mate, this is amazing. I can just a door close this room, I can just think.
I don't have time for long poops. I've got stuff to do.
Oh, no, I make time. I make time.
I feel like that's like so TMI of me.
I eat solid food. I eat lots of steak just to be able to do that.
I'm a dirty vegan, so
I think the term is dirty meat eater.
No, I don't care. I don't really like vegans that preach and shit. I'm just like, eat whatever you want. I'm gonna eat whatever I want.
There is one thing that will make me a vegetarian or vegan, and that is if we get a shite deal out of Europe. And then if we have no choice but to consume American produce. Oh,
they put like a chlorine and shit in it, don't they?
Yeah, well, they clean their chickens with chlorine. Yeah. And they feed their cows corn rather than like normal like nutrition, nutritious grass and things like that. They just feed their cows and stuff with stuff that makes them fat to make them extra fatty and stuff like that.
Juicy, but it's like not good.
If the farming industry shuts down in the UK and we can't get produce in the UK and we have to outsource food from elsewhere, then I refuse to eat their meat because I like to think that I'm a conscious meat eater.
I did see something about how if there was a no-deal Brexit, then the farming industry was going to suffer immensely.
Massively, because I think a lot of their stock comes from Europe and other places.
Yeah.
And we don't really want to have... that's where I draw the line. And
I mean, I'm not too happy if more people become vegan, because one of my greatest sneaks for not sharing snacks is being like, oh, do you want this? It's vegan. And people always go, oh, no thanks.
Did you ever do that? Did you do gluten-free as well?
No. Ugh.
No. So you weren't one of these vegans that did... They were like, I can't have any gluten because it's bad for my bowels. I'm going to have to stay away from it.
It's bad for my bum.
It's also bad for my bum. But
No. I'm like, I just don't even eat like dairy and meat because...
Principle?
No, because so when I got with my last boyfriend, I was vegan at the time.
How many last boyfriends have you had?
This is the same one that walked in on me.
Okay. She said that with venom in her voice.
And don't watch me wee, it's not nice. Basically he was like, oh, it's a deal breaker.
Just film it.
He was like, it's a deal breaker if you're vegan. And I was like, good thing I'm only vegetarian. So I had to like pretend that I was vegetarian. But the thing is, if you go vegan for a couple of months, you become lactose intolerant.
Yep.
I put on 6 pounds because of all the cheese I was eating.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So like after we broke up, I was like, oh, I should probably go back to being vegan because I am very bloated right now. And I put on 6 pounds, and then like I lost it pretty much straight away as soon as I became back vegan. It's
cheese is bad.
Purely vanity. Purely vanity.
Yeah. My partner's from Uganda.
Yeah.
And when we were over there, I had grasshoppers. Now, I don't think they're going to catch on.
Yowzers. Right? My housemate's chameleon eats them. They're tiny.
Yeah, little locusts.
How many did you have to eat?
Well, they're about that big.
You'd have to eat like a whole load of them to get full.
But they're talking of being able to make them taste like burgers and then give them the consistency of a burger.
I was like,
stuff like that. In the UK, they want to do that. They said if we're gonna go forward with this, we're gonna be sustainable. Then we could eat insects and stuff and turn them into things that look and taste
grim.
like burgers and bacon. But if this is going to divide my listeners right down the middle, because I'm sure there's probably equal vegans to meat eaters, and half of the vegans would be principal vegans that
people that hate me. Oh my gosh, I made a vegan joke on Instagram the other week, and some vegan girl was like, oh, why are you making this joke? And I was like, it's literally just a joke, calm down. But
then maybe I'm walking a tightrope with doing comedy about mental health, because there's stuff that I have elements to my comedy. I haven't done them yet. I haven't done the routines yet, but I've written stuff that's pretty dark, with like depression and stuff like that. It's like Sean McLaughlin does one as well. He suffers from bipolar 2. Yeah. Where his life was so bad that he choked on an antidepressant.
I choked on stage the other day.
You choked on stage the other day?
I literally was doing an impression of my teenage self, took a deep breath, it was too deep, and choked for 5 minutes on stage in front of an audience. The front row were offering me their beers.
Offering really to that's
so embarrassing.
I'm going to try that one just to get some free beer.
I feel like I interrupted you talking about something very serious, but
no, that's fine. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, I'm crying and she's just joking about beer and shit. Jesus
Sozzles.
Christ.
I know, I'm a heartless bitch. What can I say?
You're not winning yourself any fans by saying that.
Shit.
Unless people like the heartless bitch on stage. I've seen her live. She's great. She talks a lot about burlesque.
No, I don't.
She talks about dumping guys.
No, I've never dumped anyone.
You never dumped anyone?
I've always been the person that gets dumped.
What do you do that causes people to dump you?
Do you know what I think it is, right? I think it's because guys always have this idea of me where they're like, oh, she's a burlesque person. Oh, she's an actress. Oh, look at this person that I've seen like on social media. And then they get to know the real me and they're like, oh, she's not actually as cool as I thought. And I'm like, guys, I literally could have told you this.
So there, again, misconceptions of what you're going to be.
Exactly.
In all kinds of ways, I'm sure.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. And like, also I have this thing where like, I don't super like guys until I get comfortable with them. And then as soon as I kind of show my affection, they're like, oh, get away from me. And I'm like, but I love you.
So by the time you get to the stage, you really love them.
They're just bored.
They're just bored.
Bored of walking in on me peeing.
It gets old pretty quick, I can assure you.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to spice it up and try and walk in while having a shit.
Oh my days! I would die of embarrassment.
Yeah, I'd just be like, can you smell that? Can you smell that? I fucking made that.
What the rock is cooking?
Women are proud of their children. Men are proud of their shit.
Oh dear.
That's what divides us. That's the difference between men and women.
I don't mind pooping. I think it's a fun activity for all the family.
For all the family. Yeah, good bit of toilet humour. But most of the most embarrassing or weird stuff that's ever happened to me have happened in toilets, and that sounds really wrong. That sounds like I've been followed into a toilet by someone.
Do you know what? You just made me remember when I was.
That's what I'm here for. As an interviewer, I'm here to just give you all the
when I was 18,
limelight.
I walked into the toilets in Camden, the public toilets.
Yeah,
I walked into the ladies' public toilets, and there was a homeless lady in there, and she was fully nude, and she had all pubes coming all down her legs, like all down, and she screamed at me to get out, and I was just like, oh my god, traumatized for life, cannot go in that toilet anymore.
But pubes all the way down her.
They were like, I don't know how to explain it. They're about
we'll take a photo.
3 inches down the thigh.
We'll do a drawing. We've got that looks like a minge,
and that was how I learned.
What do they look like? Like that, don't they?
Pubes are not neat.
Their pubes are meat.
Neat. Not meat.
It depends how you keep them, doesn't it? Really. I go to the salon. Oh God.
Sorry, I feel like I'm being like way dirtier than I should be.
Depends what you're trying to plug. Are you trying to plug your comedy,
or
your acting, or
my pubes?
Or your pubes, yeah. I don't know.
I wasn't talking about me. She was a different woman.
Did you get out, by the way, or did you stand there and look out of shock?
No, I screamed and ran out because she shouted at me.
Okay.
She was like, rah, 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 and I was just like, oh my gosh.
You said she was homeless. I think you might have just walked in on her home.
I think so, for sure. Because she had like all these plastic bags, and I just felt very bad for her.
I can't think of what that would look like, but pretty bad,
I can just imagine it. It was horrible. It was just like a Victorian...
She's having a flashback. If this was a film, I'd be able to do a cutaway to a memory she had.
You know when you see like those period dramas with like the ladies with the really big minges? It was like that. It was it was very 70s.
Yeah, we've evolved since then.
I mean, I feel like a lot of ladies are going back on it now and being like, yes.
Oh, natural and all that. Yeah.
And I'm like, let me not grow it, thank you.
We're all becoming Amish and digital nomads now is the new thing. I get away from basically that someone that doesn't rely on like tech and stuff like that, and then an Amish obviously is someone who just lives just cavemen basically, but in the modern day. That's probably really offensive to
cavemen in modern day. They just don't use technology, and they also don't shave. They shave in very weird patterns.
Do they?
Yeah, because they have beards but no moustaches. Have you not seen?
They keep that bit.
Yeah, they
clean.
Like shave that bit off, but they've got like the big old beard around their chin, so they've got like chin straps.
It's because the tash gets caught on the pubes when they're going down on someone.
Oh my days, on the really long lady pubes.
Imagine like like Velcro. Yeah.
Oh my days. This is why I don't date boys with beards, but I don't have big pubes. Oh my gosh, why am I saying this?
She's single and she really needs a boyfriend to keep her busy. And then she'll realise why she's single again, because she'll know that she's not meant to be in a relationship.
Yes.
Do you know what this podcast seems to be becoming about? Like with Don Mackey, I was trying to sell him to women as well, and it sounds like I'm actually a bit of a pimp.
Actually, a dating podcast.
I think so.
It?
Yeah.
Is this why you invited me on? Are you pimping me out to all the Cambridge boys?
Well, we're meant to be respectable people in Cambridge, but people forget that in Cambridge, most of the people that study in Cambridge aren't from Cambridge, so the rest of us are poor and have shit jobs. So most of the Cambridge guys aren't worth. Just hang around the colleges and you'll meet someone who's pretty worth dating.
I'm 34, so if I hang around colleges, I'm probably going to get done for like paedophilia or something.
But you can't know. But universities, university colleges, they're at least 18. Depends. Well, at Cambridge University, they may be studying at 14.
I mean, at 18, I'm still old enough to be their teenage mum, so maybe not.
The trouble is, she's got so many conditions that, like on a dating app, you have like filters. If she uses filters on a dating app, it'd be left with just a couple of people in the world.
It's like when you go on Spare Room and you go and you put all the filters in for like where you want to live. And it's like 2 flats that you could have, and you're like, they're both shitholes.
I'm going to have to get back in contact with anyone that has been single on this podcast and just like get them back on and just see if they've found someone.
I thought you were going to like try and put us together.
I'm just saying that I've got a few clients. I've got Don Mackey who's touring. I'm sure he'll find someone by the end of that. And then I've got Kitty who's also looking for a handsome man.
Yes.
Above 6 foot.
At least 6 foot with a beautiful face.
With a beautiful...
Preferably tattoos.
So are you talking like towy sort of look?
I'm talking like normally boys in like pop punk bands.
Yeah, pop punk. I understand.
Yeah, All Time Low.
But then you were just saying that you'll get done for paedophilia by hanging around outside colleges, but you're pretty much listing 16-year-old.
Do you realise that most of the boys that are in pop punk bands are like my age now?
Now, but they weren't.
Yeah, when I was their age, then.
Oh, so you still want them, but just 16 years older than what they were? Okay.
Not like.
Right.
Yeah, no, the youngest I'll go is 27.
The youngest you'll go is 27.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone who's 27, above 6 foot, dark hair, Jesus Christ, being a dating agent is very, very difficult. It's a pain in the ass. Shit, I'm even stressed now, and I'm not even single. Oh, fucking hell. Right, this is a great podcast. I can't wait to get some more reviews about this. So you went from burlesque comedy to comedy. What's the worst gig you've ever done?
Okay, I'm not going to name names, but it was a competition that I did not realise was a competition.
Right.
And when I say competition, I mean gong show competition.
So it was a gong show?
It wasn't the gong show. It was
a gong show, yeah.
A gong show style. And you could just tell the audience were there to be arseholes.
Right, okay.
And like, the thing is, I was really sick as well. Like, I lost my voice for like 3 days that week. So I was literally just recovering my voice and feeling like shit. And I turned up and like the audience were just douchebags. And I went on stage.
But you had like venom in their eyes.
They were just there to be arseholes. They were just there to like...
That's what a gong show is, though.
Not enjoy themselves. And I'm like, why are you there if you're there just to be cunts?
Yeah.
And so I got on stage and like, you know, when just died basically. Died and was very ill as well. And I was just like, this is the worst show I've ever done. And it literally took me about 5 days to recover from it because I was just like, am I not funny? It was horrible.
Yeah, we've all died on stage, but some are worse than others. When you've got an audience that have been told to be venomous.
Yeah, it was about 300 of them, and I was just like,
they are there to rip you apart. I know a lot of comics that like experienced comics that have been at it for a while. I've met a guy, brilliant comedian, and I met him at Mirth Control Comedy recently in Cambridge. Adam Francis, who's never done one and never will do, and he's been in the game for 20 odd years.
I will never fucking do one ever again. I only booked it because I was just going for any gig that was kind of asking for people, and I didn't realise it was that type of show until I got like, I kind of looked into it a little bit more and then was like, oh shit, and then I was like, I can't really pull out now, so might as well, even though I was sick. I should have literally gone, you're sick, don't do this gig. But no. Yeah,
it wasn't good.
It was awful.
All right, so let's lift the mood back up again. Tell me about your best gig you've ever done.
I don't know, I've had quite a few good gigs. I have more good gigs than bad gigs.
Oh, that's good. That's a good sign.
It's always a good sign. I mean, I don't think I've ever had like the best yet. I don't think I've had the best gig yet. Just because if I get people to laugh, like, you know, consistently, then it's a good gig for me. Yeah.
The best gig would be sort of your live at the Apollo or filling an arena or something. You know, that's...
I mean, I've not done that yet.
But I'm just saying, like, you know, you never want to be content with a gig in a sense that you get too comfortable. You want to always be thinking that, this was amazing, but I can do better.
This is amazing.
But take the wins where you get them.
This is what happened, and this is how I'm going to change it to make people laugh, kind of thing. Yeah. So I haven't had the best gig yet, but
you've had amazing gigs.
It's coming. I've had really good gigs.
Let's hope tonight's a good one.
Yeah.
And when you do die on stage after the gong show, how do you pick yourself up?
What I did was, I mean, obviously, I've only been doing this since November, the comedy thing. So, like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I know everything. But I will say what I did was I kind of reworked my whole entire set. I went, why am I starting with material that's not as funny as the stuff that's in the middle of my set? Because I used to kind of do, like, a slow build-up to, like, my funniest jokes. So now I've kind of spaced them out. And, you know, it's always good. Like, it doesn't matter if you've got, like, a solid set. Play with it. See if something works better in the beginning. See if something... Because, like, obviously, I have an acting background. I'm not just saying this from, like, you know, pulling out of my arse or anything. Like, play with what you've got. See how the audience respond, because they're the ones that are, like, the most important. Doesn't matter if there's a joke that you love. If the audience hate it...
Don't use it.
Don't use it or change it until they love it.
So, to pick yourself up, do you just change things about until you're satisfied?
You just keep on going. Like, literally, don't be like, I've had a really shit gig, I'm going to quit. Go, no. Like, take it as an opportunity to learn, pick yourself up, keep on going. Because if you just quit as soon as you have a shit gig...
There'll be no comics in the world.
This is not for you. Like, no, exactly. It's the same thing, like, it used to happen with Burlesque. You'd sometimes have, like, a really just silent audience, and you'd be like, why am I doing this? Like, no one was enjoying my act. And then, like, you know, you could do it.
I'm just punishing them for no
like,
reason.
Even just like if you go up to Edinburgh, like the audience changes from day to day. It just depends who is in the audience, because this, you know, everybody is different. Everybody finds different things funny. Right.
You'll eventually get your audience, and they'll love everything you say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you look at the experienced comics, and they have like dedicated followings, and that's like
they can basically say anything, and people will laugh.
Exactly, because they understand like what they've got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what does the next year hold for you, and beyond that?
So I'm going up to Edinburgh again in...
How many Edinburghs have you done? One?
I did one when I was doing Burlesque, and then I was going to do another one, but I looked at hotel prices and went, oh my gosh, I've left it too late. So I booked that already, so I'm going to be going up there. Last time I did it, I was doing Burlesque and stage managing. But I'm going to go up there, try and get some gigs. If I don't get any gigs...
So you're not going up there with a set, you're just going to go and just see how it goes?
See how it goes, see if I can get anything. But if not, it's my holiday. I'm just going to go and support, watch people. Maybe take a burlesque costume up with me. Maybe offer my stage managing services. Like, you know, maybe try and make some moolah while I'm up there. But, like, you know, more importantly, go and watch some comedy and, like, all in one place.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've not done a Edinburgh Fringe yet. I've applied this year. I may do an hour up there this year. Who knows? I might just go up there and like do a series of different 5-minute sets. I don't know. But it does hemorrhage cash. So.
Oh, literally. You have to be prepared to either break even or make a loss. And the only reason I broke even last time was because my train got delayed by an hour, and I was like, oh, delay repay.
Oh, nice. Love it. Yeah, we live for that.
But that's it. Just keeping on going with the comedy. Evolve myself.
And where do you want to take it? Where's, 5 years? Where do you see your comedy going? Where would you want it to go?
I mean, to be honest with you, like, I have never kind of given the acting up. I've never really given the burlesque up. I just, I want to be somewhere creative. I want to be kind of supporting myself doing creative stuff rather than, because like my day job, like as I told you, is like in theatre anyway, but like that's more front of house than kind of on the stage. So I just think something creative where I'm properly enjoying what I'm doing. I'm creating stuff. I'm making people laugh and I'm entertaining people. But like I couldn't like presume to think that I would be doing a specific thing in the next 5 years. Yeah. I just want to see like where it goes, because you can never really predict where anything is going to go.
No, just take it as it comes.
Just like still performing, basically.
But it'll be nice to make a living out of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like that's the ultimate goal always, isn't it?
Wow, some eye-opening subjects there, but what a lovely conversation. You can follow Kitty on social media. If you look in the description notes for the episode, there'll be her Twitter handle and Instagram, so you can follow her on that. But one of the things I absolutely love about doing this podcast is that it doesn't matter how much preparation I do in the way of research or questions or social media stalking to find out what the comedians are being up to, I can never ever predict the conversations that we're going to have. It just seems to flow. But if you did enjoy this conversation as much as I did, then please do share it with your friends, subscribe, rate and review wherever you listen to it. It really does help. As always, your contributions to the podcast are always welcome, so if you're feeling super generous, please nip over to the website www.lukeanthonycomedy.co.uk/podcast and hit the donate button. There's also a mailing list form on the website if you'd like to receive news about the podcast, any gigs, the British Comedy Club, and anything else happening in my world of comedy. So please do go over there and sign up, that'd be great. If you haven't already, also take a listen to the conversations I had with Nessie Ward, Don Mackey and Paul Richards. They were awesome conversations as well. And I'll be back with another conversation with another comedian next week, so bye for now.